Alright, so this is going to be a quick video to explain menu 1 in the Pulsar Digisight N960 LRF. On the right side of the scope you have the function wheel and the function button. Do a long press on that. It's going to pull up the menu options. You have menu 1, 2, and 3. In menu 1, the first thing you come to is the sum light. Short press, you come to on and off switch or selection. Another short press, you actually turn on sum light. Some light helps the scope gather in more light when you're in low light areas, extremely dark areas, without turning on an infrared light. So with some light on, it brightens it up, as you can see whenever I turn it on, but it creates a little bit of lag. Where this is useful is if you're in a really dark area or you have animals that are sensitive to infrared light. This just allows you to be able to see better without turning on infrared light. So long press is going to bring me back into the menu where I can select that, on and off. Turn it off, and you can see a little bit different in the screen. I can long press, get back to my main menu, pull up my brightness. I can bring up my brightness, or I could turn on an infrared light if I wasn't worried about the infrared light coming on, and increase my brightness that way too. So with the scope, lots of options. I'm going to do a long press, come back to my menu. The next thing we have is the automatic contrast on and off. With it on, the scope actually kind of takes care of the contrast a little bit by itself. You still have the ability to turn it up and down in the main screen. So if I turn it off here, you'll see a little slight adjustment. I turn it on, a little slight adjustment. It's very subtle. Where I see more benefit from the automatic contrast is during the day, and it shows up more there when you're dealing with shadows and bright light. Automatic contrast pays off a lot. In the dark, it doesn't quite do as much to help, but that's your option to pick it up and then up and down. Next thing we come to is a rifle profile. So you could program in 3 different rifle profiles. So say A, I have a 308 bolt gun I want to put the scope on, I can set A that way. B, say I have an AR-15 I want to set the scope on, I can do there. And C, say I have a big 375 H&H Magnum bolt gun I want to put the scope on. This scope can actually handle a 375 H&H Magnum, which is pretty heavy caliber. So that gives me 3 different rifles I can program the scope to. In a later video we'll show the one-shot zeroing along with the ability to set in different zero distances for each rifle profile. So we'll make sure I got this back on B. Yep. So the next thing come to is the ability to change the reticle. So Pulsar has 11 different reticles programmed into this scope. They each have different holdovers. They actually send a manual that explains the thickness and length of each line in an MOA and what each circle, dot, etc. Everything about these reticles is explained in their manual they send. There's actually a whole lot of information about them. It's pretty helpful. Gives you a whole lot of information. Very useful. A lot of different reticles to be used in a lot of different situations. You can kind of go through and pick out whichever one you prefer the most. And then you can also, the next thing down is you can adjust the reticle color. You can have black lines with a red dot, black lines with a green dot, white with a green dot, or white with a red dot. Just depends on your scenario, what you prefer, whatever catches your eye the best. Next thing we come to is the ability to adjust the reticle brightness. This is the brightness of the center dot. So you get dimmer or brighter. Next one is the color of the menu. Stock, it comes in blue. You have red, green, blue, and white. White, I think, is a little too busy, pops out a little too much. It's just whatever you prefer in your eyes. I keep it on blue. Next one is the brightness of the menu icons themselves. Keep it up on 10 just so I can quickly acquire them. And the last one is the rifle tilt. So what the rifle tilt does is as I tilt my rifle, see the arrows pop up. The farther I tilt it, the more lines pop up and tell me, hey, you're tilting it too far, dummy. And the direction of the arrow tells you which way to go back and turn it. This is helpful for a youth hunter or someone who's just unfamiliar with hunting or shooting in general, so they don't cant their rifle too much when they're hunting. Or if you're just shooting in odd positions, It just helps you realize, oh hey, I'm tilted too much. This activates at 5 degrees is when it starts to kick in. And as you further you tilt it, the more lines you get, telling you tilt it out further and further. If you have an arrow and 2 bars, it tells you you're tilted at 20 degrees or more. So that's the summary of menu 1 for the Pulsar Digisight N960 LRF. If you have any questions, please post them below. I'll do my best to answer them.